Hi, what is today? Saturday, the 30th of September. It's about 5 o'clock. I'm standing in Steve and my bedroom and just standing against the wall because this seems to be where the best lighting will be. My face looks kind of red and funny because I fake tan today. I was just feeling so pale and I just love being fake tan, so I did that earlier and I haven't put any makeup on over it and it's still kind of settling in, so that's why it looks funny. I also painted my nails and I am not sure how long I'm going to be talking for today because I am feeling a bit fried. My brain I think it's mainly that I had a coffee this morning when I had breakfast with my friend Nikki after going to the gym, and I ordered a dirty chai and she got it in a mug and I just said I'll have the same, and I forgot that would mean it would have a double shot, and then I've just felt like really unwell from that all day. I'm not used to having 2 shots of coffee. I know for most people that's like nothing to them, but for me, my poor little heart's been all day and it feels like I don't even know how to describe it. Haven't been feeling great, and I feel like the reason I'm feeling fried at the moment is mainly to do with that. But I've also spent the whole day after breakfast sitting at the kitchen table on my laptop, and my goal when I started at 10:30 a.m. was to spend an hour getting quotes from all the books I've read recently to put up on Instagram, to just turn them into little quotes. Also, it's really noisy at the moment, but I hope you can't hear it too much, but I didn't have another option to film now. So yeah, my goal was to spend an hour. I set a timer to go through the books and to just find some really good quotes to share. But then I found that it was really challenging. A few of the books I'd read, you needed the context, a lot of context for those quotes I'd highlighted to make sense. So I was struggling with that a bit, and then I can't remember why I thought about it, but I was like, I could just share something that I have written, because I've written so much on my blog, in the emails I send out, I do a lot of writing. Maybe I can just share some of these quotes of mine instead of sharing things that other people have said, because if I want to actually have an impact on doing something different on Instagram, then that's probably going to be the way to do it, is to actually quote myself. The only thing with that is that it's something I've thought of doing ages ago, but just always the fear of what it would look like if I'm quoting myself. I don't want to look up myself, but today I was like, fuck it, you know what, I'm just gonna quote myself. I put my name and my Instagram handle on the quotes because I know on Instagram, for me, I'd love people to share them, and for those people that then find them to come back to my account. And often things don't get credited on Instagram unless you can actually see it on the post itself. So I really wanted to include that. And at first I was like, I feel like a bit of a dick, but you know what, I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna do it. So I spent ages going through mainly just my most recent blog post, because I wrote about so many different things. I just pulled all these different bits and pieces out of it, and then I changed it, those little phrases, into a quote format, as in I changed it from first person to third person or second person, using you instead of I, because I feel like for a quote that just sounds better. And my brain is just fried because looking through all those quotes of me, it takes a lot of editing to get it to be just right. Well, that's probably not true. I'm probably just telling myself that, but I found myself editing it a lot just to make sure the wording sounded really nice and lovely. And then you kind of just start overthinking it and being like, does this even make sense? So I've created 12 quotes and I'm going to be sharing them, and then another day creating another batch and sharing them. And moving my Instagram away from quoting other people and more towards sharing my work. And yeah, I'm really excited about it, and I can just feel like that has a lot more potential for me to reach more people than if I'm just finding other quotes from people, even if those quotes are quotes that aren't already shared on Instagram. I know it was only a week ago that I was like, oh, maybe this is what happens when you do stuff. You can iterate very quickly. So last week I was looking for quotes, and I talked about this on my vlog. I was looking for quotes to share, and I found that there weren't that many good quotes to share that I hadn't already seen. And I thought, well, maybe I can just share the quotes that I find in books. So I started doing that, and then today I've been like, well, maybe I can just share my own quotes. And yeah, as you do things, you can really clearly see where you can progress that idea. So that's why, especially lately, I'm such a big advocate of doing instead of planning. Or you do a bit of planning, but jump into it as soon as you can. So yeah, I've been doing that, and then I realized I can also put them on Pinterest, and there's just like so much more potential with that. So I'm really excited to do that. I think this was the draining part. I spent about 1 to 2 hours looking through Instagram to find quote pages that share other people's quotes, and also the kinds of people that I would like to follow that often share lots of quotes from other people, because I want to be able to tag them and reach out to them and do whatever, so that hopefully they'll want to share my quotes with their followers, and then that will lead them back to me and my blog and my business and everything. So I'm trying to be really strategic with it, or as strategic as I know how to be. So I spent quite a while putting that together, and yeah, I did that, and then I created the actual quotes. I'm really happy with them. It's kind of like I feel like the last few weeks I'm finally like really getting out of my own way and getting over myself in a sense, like just being like, why shouldn't I share my quotes? Why shouldn't I like do a daily vlog instead of being like, why should I? I'm just like, fuck it, I am good enough. So yeah, I feel like I can just feel myself growing, and I think just putting so much effort into everything. Before I would withhold effort because I was scared of putting effort in, because if I put effort in and then I failed, I would make that mean that I wasn't good enough, which is the fixed mindset, and I've spoken about that before. But yeah, I didn't put effort in to try and protect myself from failing when I actually created the failure because I wasn't doing anything. And that's why perfectionism can be like this really vicious cycle, because you're trying to avoid failing and at the same time creating what you're trying to avoid, because you're scared of putting in effort in case, like, perfectionism and the fixed mindset is thinking that talent and skill and intelligence are like, we're born with a certain amount of them, that like they're fixed, they can't be changed, and that everything is a reflection of whether or not we're good enough. This lighting has gotten really bad. And yeah, so that means we make everything we give it the meaning that we're good enough or we're not good enough, and we're constantly trying to evaluate whether or not we're good enough. Whereas if you have the growth mindset, which is what I can feel myself moving more into, it's that all of those things can be developed, and that effort in and of itself is important, and not only just because of results, like the effort itself, because that's when you're learning and growing. Whereas fixed mindset and perfectionism is like, a lot of perfectionists have this thing about wasted effort. They don't want to waste any effort because they're so hung up on the result, and effort only has a point if it leads to a result. Whereas in the growth mindset, people in the growth mindset end up achieving a lot more because they do a lot more. If you're in the growth mindset, you're not scared to put in effort, you're not scared to fail, you don't make it mean anything about you. But perfectionist, and if you're in the fixed mindset, you make it mean something about you, and so we try to avoid that. So I feel like I'm finally moving from the fixed mindset to the growth mindset. I just am less hung up on myself, and yeah, it's really cool to feel that change happening. And yeah, I don't know, it's not like I had an aha or like a sudden change. It just, every day I feel like I've been getting closer to it, particularly since starting this vlog. I don't know if you can tell in the videos or not. It's kind of hard to feel unless I think about it, but then looking back, even over the last month, I started these on the 2nd of the month and it's the 30th, and I can feel a change, a big change. So yeah, wow, I'm looking very red now, very red. So yeah, that's all I'm going to share today. I will talk to you tomorrow. I will probably be doing my makeup in tomorrow. Actually, I'm not sure, because my friend Lib is up from Canberra and I'm seeing my friend Brent, who's down from Innisfail, but I think we might be hanging by the pool. So I don't know if I'm going to be doing makeup or not. Maybe a tiny bit. But I will talk to you probably tomorrow morning. Hopefully my brain's less fried, but actually from doing this talking, it feels a little better. I think I just need to have some water too. I haven't really had much water. Anyway, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.